Leicester, I don't know what Leicester's doing.
The thing is,
Rude. Yeah, another rude awakening.
that was a rude result. That was a rude result.
A team that doesn't even want to be in the Prem anymore doing that to you.
I mean, like, it's kind of disrespectful, but it's also the new manager bounce that I feel like a lot of teams are starting to have. So that was crazy.
Pull up the analyst here so I can give some disgusting numbers on these teams.
Yeah.
Theanalyst.com. There we go.
Ugh. Oh, these are gonna be gross.
Took City 10 years of being the best team in the world to actually win it. So
yeah, like that's gonna be the tricky one.
Bunch of bottle jobs.
But
speaking of bottle jobs,
are we talking about our cast?
Jacob Penitentiary, Logan Mock, Ryan Landry. Again, it's another week, another bit of audacity to ask if we could postpone this and move it back till tomorrow.
And here's the thing. We saw Jacob's story over the weekend. That Haskell brother, shout him out because he does listen to the pod. But we knew with those dance moves, Jacob wasn't making the pod this weekend.
Yeah, they were in one.
We knew what was going on.
If we could pull up the video and put that clip right here, we would. But we do not know.
We want to save the YouTube audience from seeing what's going on.
We got multiple guys that are social media experts, but one of them doesn't do anything for us, so that's unfortunate.
For now. 2025 is our year. 2025 is our year. It's going to be good. And then
I think he's showed up to the same amount of podcasts as he was healthy his collegiate career for games. I think it's the same percentage. It's less than 50%.
They were talking about
for selection, like 40%.
They were talking about my hamstrings. This guy's hamstrings. They need to do a study on those.
Oh, well, I can tell you why his hamstrings went.
Well, we'll let him speak for himself on that.
Well, and then later this week, he can explain what happened to his hamstrings and why he was only able to put forth a few weeks of football at a time before he re-injured himself.
Yeah, I mean, Muck? Anything on Muck?
Muck's an interesting one because this guy, he is a guy that likes to step up and he acts like he's going to do stuff. Tell me what to do, I'll get it done. I've been waiting for a header for Twitter for 2.5 months now. We're supposed to have Christmas graphics. So that, Christmas is in 2 days. I guarantee you there will be no Christmas graphics.
Well, I guess we don't even have to worry about that. It just seems like he's failing on his health. So let's just make sure he's not sick all the time. Maybe we limit it to a certain amount of hours at the bar. Maybe. Could be a shout there. But
this guy was more available when he had mono than this. I don't know what the issue is. He's the one that always makes fun of Lando. He says, you're like a baby. You need to be taking Dayquil and NyQuil all day because you're sick all the time. He's been sick twice.
We've only had a nasty
episodes.
This is episode 9.
Yeah,
so
I don't even know which one it is.
But yeah,
Jacob.
I don't know if you want to do that.
I do want to do it because I'm very confused on him as well.
Farmhouse in Wisconsin?
I'm also an hour behind. I didn't know that. How don't you know that? Do you not look at your watch, clock, phone, anything?
That's actually a great point. So, this whole weekend, did he think he was on East Coast time? Was he just vibing off East Coast time? I'm telling you, 2025 is the year. We're gonna figure this one out. And if not, they won't hear from us ever again. But anyways, here we are. Another episode of Remotely Related. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. This is America's best kept secret. And we're thankful that you're all listening to us. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Remotely Related. Each week, we're going to break down the wildest moments in sports, dive into the latest social trends, and connect it with all of our stories in between. So sit back, relax, and let's jump right into this week's episode. We'll bring up some hate comments. I hope there's a lot more people bookmarking the tweets about Tottenham Hotspurs and saying that we're wrong about Ange Postecoglou and James Maddison and Kulusevski can't play together. They lost 6-3 today. Guess who scored? Maybe both of them scored. I don't know. Potentially.
But we're just Americans. We don't know anything, right?
Yeah, we're just Americans that don't know anything. I mean, I did say 2 weeks ago that Villa weren't going to finish in the top four. Now, that wasn't me believing that Man City were going to be as bad as they are, because this team, I don't want to hop into it already because I'm going to lose my mind. And I don't even think they deserve the respect for us to talk about them more than 5 minutes today, because it's just a clown show. If I was Pep, I'd be happy if they finished with like 50 points this year, because they're awful. Like, this team, I mean, I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Well,
it's Rodri.
We'll save
it's
it.
Rodri.
We'll save it. We'll save it for later.
It's Rodri.
We're gonna save.
Messi. It's Rodri.
We're gonna save this. We're gonna save this for later. But before we dive in, happy holidays to everyone. But we are going right into the Prem, because a lot of goals this weekend, a lot of games to be talked about, and as Smitty said, there are some potential crash outs. But without further ado, let's dive right in.
Yeah, first game we want to talk about, Brentford at home, the best team in the league on home form. Nottingham Forest goes into Brentford. They win 2-0. And Nottingham Forest this is clearly the surprise of the season for everyone. I know later we'll talk about Chelsea and Liverpool and the big clubs, but Nottingham Forest, dude, what they're doing, it's really incredible. Defensively, keeping the ball out of their net, especially going to Brentford. Brentford scores for fun.
Those bald heads up top, man.
Yeah, those guys are they're really good. And for you to go into that stadium and get a clean sheet and the score 2 yourself, it's a really good result. And if they make top 4, it would be absolutely incredible for the balance of the Premier League.
It'd be absolute scenes. This game, I didn't even get to really see because I was traveling back to the East Coast, and the Southwest Wi-Fi did me so dirty. Like,
well, here's the thing. While we're doing this, I think now would be a good time to rank these airports from best to worst. We'll go Southwest, okay, Delta, American, and Spirit. I know where my rankings are. I think we might agree, but you go ahead.
Okay. So, Spirit, enough said there. I feel like if you saw the story with their planes getting shot at in Haiti.
Yeah, the thing with Spirit is exactly what you're getting.
Yeah, you do know exactly what you're getting.
You're paying $80 to go cross country. You don't get that on the other airlines. But, it is what it is.
Plus and minuses. So that's...
Hey, you buy a cheap car and it breaks down. Guess what? You can't blame the car. You got to blame yourself for getting the cheap car. You fly Spirit, you got to have the mindset. Your knees are going to be aching. Your back's going to be sore. And by the time you get to your vacation destination, you're going to wish you didn't even get on the plane.
Yeah, I know exactly how that feels. I've been on quite a few Spirit flights. But
same. They're electric.
Yeah, that's sliding right into 4th place for me, though. Regardless of how electric it is.
Yeah, they're going to have...
Let's see.
The seats
now. What's the next one?
You had American,
the other 3?
Spirit, Southwest, and Delta.
So I'll go to number 1 here. I'm going Delta.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm going Delta.
Yeah.
So I think just in terms of efficiency, in terms of just where you need to be, what the offerings are, Delta's class. And I don't know what they've done or what I've done the past couple flights I've had. They've got me right behind like the business economy. So I got like the leg room and stuff. Maybe it's because I keep flying everywhere and need to settle down. But shout out Delta.
I feel like Delta might be the only airline that genuinely cares about their customers. Like the other ones, I don't think they care. They're just like, it's money. Give us the money.
Yeah. No, I hear it.
Which is what you should get, because Delta's more expensive.
Uh-huh.
So if you're going to pay more money, you get good experience. I
Yep.
love that.
Uh-huh.
The other two, these two in the middle, I think you can flip them.
I
There's
can't
good
lie.
times and bad times.
Yeah, I can't lie. Number 3 is gonna be American for me, and then 2 would be Southwest. I American, I feel like just has more stinkers than Southwest has for me, and I don't be trusting. I don't be trusting some of them planes. Like sometimes there was one I was on where like the power turned off just inadvertently, and I'm like, they didn't have any announcement. They didn't be like, oh yeah, we fixed the problem. We just started going again. I'm like, guys,
Uh,
help.
I'll be honest though, like if that happens when I'm on a flight, I'd rather they just not tell me. Like
No,
if the plane just nosedives, then I'll know. Like there was been an issue. I'd rather just not
nah,
worry.
I
Like one of
guess.
the engines is done. Don't tell me. There's no need for me to know.
I mean, Southwest, I'm going number 2 just because if you do check in at the right time and it is open seating, like you can get into like the high A's, low B's and get that window or aisle seat. So I like that.
Yeah, it's good if you check in on time.
If you can check in on time.
You're on connecting flights. It is not good. Um, and that's how I feel about Nottingham Forest. They're just connecting all the pieces, and
And we were talking about Nottingham Forest.
when they show up on time, ready to play, they're a really good side. And again, top 4 finish. We need it. The
I
league
hope
needs it.
the league needs it.
Um, let's skip over this one. We'll go West Ham 1, Brighton 1. Brighton on a little bit of a slide right now, winless in their last 4.
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
don't know with Brighton, dude. It's like I feel like they're just coming back to reality right now. Like they were overperforming probably at the beginning of the season, and they're finding their place. They're putting their head on their pillow, and they're getting comfy where they should be.
Yeah. So I only watched the highlights of this game. It looked like Brighton should have won. There was a nasty challenge from like Estupiñán and Kilman where like I guess VAR reviewed it and didn't give a red, but when I saw Kilman's ankle just turn how it wasn't supposed to turn, I thought that should have been a red. But other than that, it was a Fabianski mistake for Brighton's goal. He needs to be stronger in the air. Kudus got me some points, so I appreciate that. But yeah, Brighton is literally, like I said last week, 60 wins, 60 losses, 60 draws. You're going to see the ebbs and flows of Brighton, and hopefully they get out of the slump sooner rather than later if they want to push for like a top 8 or something like that. But yeah, West Ham, you know how we feel about West Ham, so
Fabianski's in goal. I mean,
like
oh,
I'm
dude,
over it. Jared
Fabi.
Bowen is balling. I will say that. Like he's actually like he's going crazy. But
Well,
yeah,
that's why West Ham's the interesting team because they have multiple players that could go to big teams right now. Like I don't
yeah.
know why they're performing like this.
I mean, you'll probably see at the end of this season some moves being made and West Ham getting players that should be West Ham quality. But yeah.
All right, let's skip a couple more here. Fulham, Southampton. What's there to say
Okay.
about Fulham and Southampton? I
It
mean,
was 0-0. Yep.
Fulham is the perfect Premier League side. Let's be honest. Like this is what the Premier League's about. This is a team that can beat anyone. They can also lose to anybody. And this is a
Yeah.
prime example of what that is. Because this
Yeah.
0-0 at home, not ideal if you're Fulham. Southampton?
Yeah.
Look at
New
Southampton.
manager
Look at
bounce. New
Southampton.
manager bounce. New
Southampton.
manager bounce.
I
They
still you're gonna have the lowest point total, I think, maybe in the history of the Prem this season. But
I
we'll
think
see
I
what
think
happens.
that was I think Derby has the lowest. They might have had like 10 points or something. But yeah, quick one on the Southampton Fulham game. A kid made his debut, Josh King, and I saw on Twitter that like 6 years ago he was like the mascot kid and got walked out by Tom Kearney, and now they're just starting side by side. That was cool to see. And then Ramsdale, did you see that thing about Ramsdale?
Ramsdale having the special gloves where you could put
The four-finger
I
glove.
I'm not gonna show it with my hands on how it looked. You can
Oh, okay.
you can look up the image yourself, but he had his two, his middle finger and his ring finger in the same hole in the glove. Pretty cool. I've never seen it before.
Same
And
hole.
shout out to Ramsdale for playing because broken finger as a goalkeeper, not fun. I thought he was
Made some good
class
saves
too,
too.
wasn't he? Yeah.
Made some good saves.
Which is interesting because well, actually, it's not interesting because that's what Aaron Ramsdale does. He makes rollies and he lets in shit goals. He's like Jordan Pickford. They're similar.
One of the
I think
same.
I think all the England goalkeepers are actually the same. You look at Nick Pope, Jordan Pickford, Aaron Ramsdale.
Who's in there?
Same
Dean
types of players.
Henderson.
Dean
Dean
Henderson.
Henderson. Yeah.
Is
Made
Fraser
against Smith.
Foster English?
Nah, he's just shy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not much to talk about with Fulham and Southampton. It's just
If you watched it, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I apologize as well. Leicester City 0. Wolverhampton Wanderers 3 goals today.
On the first half.
Cunha scored again.
Fantasy.
Fighting for the big move. I don't blame him. But if you look at the numbers, XG, Leicester 0.8, Wolves was 1.1. Leicester had more shots. Leicester had more possession.
Jamie
So
Vardy should have had a couple.
3-0 might have been a little romantic to Wolves in this game.
Yeah, they did have chances though. Like, I will say that Wolves did create more quality chances. Leicester really it's a rude awakening because you can't expect to stay in the Prem when you're losing 3-0 at home. Like, it's just not good enough. And I don't care, like, if you're unlucky or whatever. These are the games where you need the points. You need these points. So you gotta figure something out. A lot of games coming up too. So.
But sacking the manager in the first place, I didn't really get it. Like, you weren't.
Who was it? Steve Cooper?
Yeah, like Steve Cooper, you're gonna get. Like, he's like Sean Dyche, you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You're not gonna light the world on fire with Steve Cooper. But you try to get cute, you try to play fancy, you bring in Rude, and if you get relegated, then what the hell do you do?
Honestly, I would probably just stick with Rude. Like,
yeah, but it's like it was unnecessary in the first.
Yeah,
like
Leicester fans,
leave Rude alone. Like, you didn't need him.
Yeah,
I hope you stay up. I think Leicester City's a team that needs to be in the Prem. I'd rather them be in the Prem than Southampton or I don't even know who else.
Nah, yeah, it's tough. It's actually
I
tough
was going to say Wolves, but I'd rather have Wolves in the Prem too.
Yeah, Wolves, yeah.
Maybe West Ham can get relegated. That'd be cool. How about Everton? Everton would also be a fun one.
Nah, Sean Dyche forever.
All right, let's get into some of the interesting ones.
Okay.
Newcastle, Ipswich. Ipswich conceding in the first 30 seconds of the game.
Did you watch the highlights?
Oh, I saw the highlights. Isak was just, kick around at the playground with the boys. That's what he was doing. And Ipswich, I mean, they're a funny team. They really are. They're a hilarious team. You can't concede 15 shots at home and give up 6 big chances. I mean, giving up 6 big chances is almost impossible to do.
Yeah, it's like you kind of want them to score at that point. Yeah, an Isak hat trick, 40 goals in 67 Premier League games right now. Is he the best striker in the league?
On form, yes.
I hear it.
On form, okay. I still take Holland in a functioning team as the best player, or not the best player, the best striker in world football. But unfortunately, he is not in a functioning team, so he's pretty much useless for that team. But Isak's a guy that he's a different player. Like, he's a different guy than Holland. He can drop in. He can get it on the turn. He can get in behind.
He can play left
connect. Yeah, he can go out. He can slide out wide. Like I said last week, I think any team that needs a striker, it's clear who you should want. It's just a battle of who's willing to spend the money that they're going to want, because I don't see how it will be less than 100.
I was thinking 100 minimum. But other than that, besides Isak, quick shout out on Jacob Murphy. Like he was class. Like there was an assist he had for Isak that I thought was quality. I think it was like a backheel assist, and then he had a goal himself. I'm pretty sure. But other than that, Ipswich. I don't know if you saw. Was it the second goal when the keeper tried to play it out? We are literally seeing this every single weekend, and it's pissing me off. It's pissing me off, man.
Well, we're going to talk about it with Spurs, and I think we're going to talk about it with Everton, too. There's just certain things that if you're coming up into this league, you can't do. And for Ipswich, I think it's a little bit different because you have so many promotions in a row. Eventually, it's going to catch up to you. Like, you just can't have good enough players in the Premier League if you just keep getting promoted every year. So I think for Ipswich, it's not even about how they're playing. It's just that they're not ready yet. And I think actually going down will probably help them in the long run.
That's a good shout, actually, just so they'll be like more prepared and stuff like that.
Like if you have maybe a year or two in the championship and you get more structure and more stability and then you build up, like, because let's be honest, like they should have never even gotten promoted to the Prem this year. Like what they've done is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and then I guess the only tough part would be keeping your players that are Prem quality, because I'm sure other
They
teams
don't
that get
have many.
promoted well, that's the thing. There's probably like 2 or 3 that like you'd like to keep. But yeah, as long as you build the structure around it and just have a good system in place, they could easily be back. But I think they'll be going down this season.
Shout out Newcastle. Newcastle's, oh my goodness, they're up to 8th.
What was it? 3 points behind 5th, right? Something like that.
3 points behind, 2 points behind 5th. Look, my thing with Newcastle is they're not playing European football this season. There's no reason why they shouldn't be finishing in the top 5. No reason.
Yeah, I think they can though, and it's 17 games in already. This is round 17 or 18, and there's a whole other half to go. Like the games are going to be flying in, so if Newcastle can actually stay healthy, we know their quality, and they should be fighting for Champions League, to be honest.
Yeah, there's no reason they shouldn't be. If there are also teams behind them in the table that should probably also be finishing in the top 4, but they have also been shockingly bad.
Fair enough.
Which brings us to the main attraction of every weekend. How many in a row can we go before we win a game?
My notes right here.
Manchester City. I'll give a little bit of grace on this one. Aston Villa is a tough place to go and play. But however, you just have to get a result at some point. You have to get a result.
Do you want to talk about Villa first? I feel like they deserve more respect than City. I don't even know if like City really deserves all this talk. We could talk about some Aston Villa ballers. No, Morgan Rogers is unbelievable. The Academy City lad to do this against him as Pep is going through this run of form right now. I absolutely love to see it. I think the biggest thing with me is that I haven't watched Aston Villa too much, but Morgan Rogers' ability to do the half turns and spins and just really just power through the midfield and just leave like Kovacic and Walker and everyone else for dust. It's so good. You need that driving force. You need someone who can really carry the team forward. And what Morgan Rogers did, absolutely class. That goal was so well deserved, and he took it so well.
Dude, I think we're seeing like a new type of midfielder, kind of. Like if you look at Morgan Rogers,
okay,
you look at Ryan Gravenberch, you look at these guys that are like, I don't view any of them as a specific like 6, 8, or 10.
Just hybrids.
They're just a hybrid of everything. and they can like. I think you could put like these guys in any team in the world, and they can do a job. Like it's invaluable what they can do. 6, 8, 10. They can press it high. They can kill low blocks. They can beat the press. They can get it on the spin and drive at people. Like, and Villa need it
Yeah.
because the way Villa play, they need somebody in the middle of the park that can get it on the spin and run up people.
And the thing is, going off of that, I think a lot of people are saying that the quality of footy has just gotten gradually worse, like as of like recent times. But you can also argue in the case that the amount of versatility that these players have now, where they can play 3 different positions in the midfield, like Gravenberch wasn't supposed to be a 6. Like over time, his position's going to develop into something else. But there's so many different players that can do so many different jobs. And I think if you can do multiple good roles, kind of like a James Milner-esque type of role where he can really play anywhere, I think
But
that shows you the quality's good.
I think the difference is now is there's guys that are doing it at an elite level.
Yeah.
Like James Milner was never doing it this high of a level.
Ooh. Nah,
Maybe.
you can't.
No,
Nah. Him in
but
the
like
Villa days?
not, yeah, way back when.
Yeah, okay.
But like, it's just, I think it's different now. Like
Yeah.
Cole Palmer can play as a 10. He could play as a winger. He could probably play as a 9 if they needed him to play as a 9. We just talked about Isak. He can play striker. He can play out wide.
Uh-huh.
Gravenberch, Rogers.
Yeah, there's the crop that's coming up now. There's a lot of just talent to them, but I guess
So
going through.
the question is with all these guys that have unlimited talent, I think the bigger question is going to be who their manager is.
1,000%.
Because you see plenty of guys that are unreal and then they just get limited in a system that they play in.
Mm-hmm. Couple other Villa players. Do you want to speak on John Duran real quick?
He's like a breath of fresh air. Interesting type of striker, though.
Did you see the tweet?
No, I did not. But he's just a ridiculous human being. Like the confidence he plays with. He genuinely thinks if he shoots a ball from 75 yards, he's going to score.
That's the thing. They were saying that he plays footy like someone just told him for the first time, like, this is how you play, and he just went out there, and this is what you're seeing, like the 35-yard like strikes, like just all these outrageous like street type of footy finishes. You're seeing John Duran do it, and I feel like to just walk in on that Villa team. I mean, he's been there a couple seasons because he came from Chicago Fire. What a crazy
go
crazy
from
shout.
Chicago Fire, like
yeah. So the fact that this was MLS talent doing this in the Prem, we love to see it. But
he's
in
their
terms
best
of
striker. Like I'll stand by it. I think he's more effective than Watkins is.
I hear it. No, I hear it, and I think it's valid because you're seeing all the value that he's bringing. You're just seeing everything that he touches just turns to gold, and they are absolutely flying. Like he has Villa flying. But
he's a massive human being that's athletic as shit, with unlimited confidence, and has really good finishing. Maybe not really good, but it has the potential to have really good finishing. Like you can just tell by the way he strikes the ball. Like,
and a lot of it too is that with strikers, we'll be talking about the other one shortly, but a striker that I heard that a striker who doesn't score, if they still have a good game, you can realize that. So it's like you're not only contributing goals, you can also perform when you're not doing a GA thing. So the fact that even if he doesn't score, he's still involved, he's still like ready, like he still is just able to do these things. I think it's impressive. And he's 21 years old, so there's a lot of potential, and I hope Villa finds a way to keep him, but it'll be tough. And we shall see.
The good news is like we said last week, there's only a certain number of teams that are going to have the money to do it.
Yeah.
And the majority of them, he probably won't be their first pick. So that's the good news for Villa.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So shout out Duran. And then one final one. It won't get as much praise, but what Yuri Tillmans did in that midfield, it was. See, I played FIFA back in the day, and Yuri Tillmans was one of the wonder kids where it was like him, Alan Halilovic, and all these players that were supposed to get rated like 96, 97 in like career mode. And
Lilovich.
you remember that?
Lilovich.
Like
Oh
I'm
my
looking up all
God.
these stuff. So it's like
Bill
Yuri
wrote off his
Tillman.
career.
No, 1,000. I couldn't tell you where he is. I could not tell you where Alan
No, I'm talking
Halilovic
about
is.
Tielemans. Like, people thought he was done.
Oh yeah. Because what
He
he was
got there
at
for
Leicester.
free. Like, he went
He
there
was
for free.
he was at Leicester, and that's when they snuck in Champions League place, if I'm not mistaken. But then that next year, following year, they almost got relegated. So I think that's why he was able to get the free, and like with the contract and everything. But what he did, what he put on display during the City game, like the through ball for the first goal, and just everything he did, he's just connecting all his passes, the recovery runs, switching field of play. It was a proper center mid experience. So shout out Yuri Tillmans, because a lot of people did write him off, and he's proven a lot of people wrong right now.
Again, though, it's another manager discussion. Like,
Bringing
we're
the best out of your
seeing
players.
we're seeing with like Emery, Maresca, Slot, like, you have good players and you put them in a structure, but then you just tell them, go show how good you are individually. And I feel like that's a big part of why City are struggling right now, is because it's gotten to the point where it's so structured and everything has to be patterned that
Mm-hmm.
the individual quality that each of them have, and they all are individually incredible players. Like, you can't tell me that Holland and Foden and Grealish and De Bruyne and Doku and Savinho, like, all these guys, they'd be better off playing Ange ball, where it's just open as shit and just get the ball and run and make a decision that you want to make, instead of going, all right, let's pass it out wide. Now let's go inside. Now let's go forward. Now, like, it's just a different type of manager. It's a different type of league now. And that's why I keep saying, like, I don't even know if Rodri coming back can save them at this point, because it's almost like the league is just passed them by, and the way that teams are playing is almost passed them by. Like, there's no longer like this battle of, we want to have the ball nonstop. Like, there's teams now, like Liverpool do it, Chelsea do it, Arsenal do it. It's like, we'll give you the ball and we'll just counter.
Here's
Like,
the thing
and
too.
we don't care.
Here's the thing too. It was getting so crazy that Villa was playing out the back like a lot. Like Pau Torres, I don't think he looked the most confident, but the fact that they still were able to maneuver, and just the way the structure of the team was, they weren't scared.
Well, they
There's
can't
like,
run anymore.
yeah,
Like, they don't have anybody that can run.
we clearly saw that. We clearly saw that.
That
But
I don't know if you saw in the highlights, at like the end of the clip, there was a Morgan Rogers clip where Kyle Walker made like this sliding tackle where he was
Mhm.
legitimately like 3 yards away from the ball when he made the tackle. Like, he wasn't even close to him.
was that when
was,
was that when he hit the post?
yeah, that was when he
Yeah,
went down
yeah,
at the post. It all started like Kyle
yeah,
Walker, the gift that keeps going. I mean,
yeah.
he's not the only one. Like, there's
You know what
so
they
many in
were?
the City team.
You know what they were running like? They were running like when Tillmans. I don't know if you remember the summer games. They put the camera on Tillmans, and like it looked like he was running so slow. But like that's what the entire Man City team was looking like. Um, do you wanna kick us off with City real quick?
Yeah,
Because
it's
I'm over this team, man.
yeah, it's like, it's not even worth talking about that much anymore. I mean, it's their ninth loss in their last 12 games.
Yep.
They're down to 7th. I just don't know. Like, Foden scored a fake ass goal in the 93rd minute to, like, just the fakest goal. Like, oh, look, we scored. We made it 2-1. Like, they weren't in the game again. They only
No
had
threat.
two big chances. I just don't get
Holland
it.
had what, 14 touches?
14 touches.
Some zero shots, zero everything. Like the thing is
So,
too.
but here's the thing. Like, the lineup, Vardiol, Stones, Akanji, I'm fine with that. But dude, we talked about Vardiol's defending. He can, like, you can't play him in a back three because he can't defend right now.
You know what the thing is? He presented himself during as the World Cup and Euros, I think. Like he presented himself like he was just some like big, like rough and tough, like CB, not willing to just throw the body on the line, do it, being able to just do everything, like all the dirty work. Right
Athletic
now,
freak.
yeah, right now we're just seeing a pretty boy CB, and you
But
can't be that.
he is like, that's the thing though. He is an athletic freak. Like, because you see him in the box when they're attacking. Like, he'll go
Yeah,
up and win headers like a madman. But defending, I mean
he
defending,
doesn't. He's given up on defending.
and then in front of them, you have Rico Lewis and Kovacic sitting. I don't want to do the Rico Lewis thing again. Kovacic has to play because they literally have no one else in that position. And then you have Grealish, Gundogan, Foden, and Silva, and Holland's leading the line. Grealish, you might laugh, you might think I'm crazy.
Okay.
Go to Spurs, push for a move to Spurs. I think it would be beneficial for both of them. It'd be beneficial for City to get rid of him. It'd be beneficial for Grealish to go play in a team where he can do whatever he wants. And I think it would benefit Spurs because Son, if you saw Son play today, I don't know how many years Son's got left in the tank.
I was gonna ask, so would he be the player that leaves in order for Grealish to come in?
I don't even know if Son has to leave, but it's like I would be a little more careful with his minutes now because I saw the performance he had today, and I looked on Twitter, and it seems like he's been performing like this for the past couple of weeks, and the Spurs fans are not too pleased.
I told you that those step overs were looking slower and slower by the day, man.
If Trent has a good day defending, you know you did not have a good day attacking. Like I just think he has to leave. He just has to leave. Maybe it's me just personally liking him as a player and wanting to see him do well again. Because everyone liked him before he went to City.
Yeah, the thing is, I still don't like mind him, like his personality and stuff. I really don't mind it. But it's when you go back to your old club, and I will say, I will say what Matty Cash, him and Matty Cash got beef, yo. First and foremost, I don't know if they went to like a lookalike Jack Grealish concert thing. They've been doing that stuff on the street, and there was beef. But like, there is something going on, and I hope they squash that. Second thing, you can't do the 3 sign like Pep did with the Liverpool fans at your boyhood club. This club gave you so much, and you can't hit back with the Klay Thompson, I got this many. Like, it's tacky. It's tacky. Like, you just got to own that you're not playing good right now. Just like, take it on the chin, move on, and just play better. So maybe it is a move to Spurs. Maybe it's a move to somewhere else in Europe. It just doesn't have to be the Prem. But if you deep down think that you can revitalize your career and you want people to actually give your career more stake when it comes to your legacy, it can't be at City anymore because there's a lot of fraudulent behavior over there. So if you, Jack Grealish, really want to revitalize something, make the move. Spurs, I don't know. Erling Haaland, where to begin? So I don't want to hate on him because we do know, like, what?
I don't think it's his fault.
I was going to say,
genuinely, I don't.
I was going to be calm this episode.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland,
I like that.
It really isn't your fault. We know how good you are. We talked about just you in transition, but when your team's not performing, we've seen strikers in the mud with previous teams just because they're playing well and the rest of the team doesn't show up. Unfortunately, as a striker, you can only do so much. And him staying up the pitch is why he's not getting involved, since there's no attack. But something's gotta give. Something's gotta give here.
I don't think it is.
I don't.
This is 9 games now. I don't think anything's given. So I don't think they care. They're genuinely
Try something. Maybe it is Jacob's outlandish tactics.
Like, what are you going to try?
maybe it is a ball over the top. And like we saw in another game,
Pump
second balls won a certain team a game later. But maybe it is just a new tactic because you need to get him involved. You need Erling Haaland involved in order to win these games. And the fact that he only has 14 touches with none of them being in the box or none of them being dangerous or whatever the stats are, it's simply not good enough. I'm not putting that blame on him, but it's shocking behavior.
There's
too much quality.
Effort.
Yeah, there's too much quality on that field within that team for these performances to be happening. What?
Maybe there isn't.
12? Yes, there is.
Maybe there isn't.
There is.
Maybe we're being delusional.
I would love to be delusional, but
maybe the rest of the league is just better than they've been the last 5 years.
Well, I guess it's tough when you see all your kids and academy kids just performing throughout the league. We already went through the list earlier, but it's like, yeah, Morgan Rogers, Cole Palmer, Latvia, Bilo Gittins is balling in Dortmund. There's so many different academy products doing well, but still, there is quality in the city side. There is quality to do something. I'm Pep being naive like Ange.
The streets are saying he's a checkbook manager.
Oh,
how's he going to respond?
I'm streets. 1,000%. 1,000%. This is just him. He can't develop talent. He can't coach.
I don't want to make it about my team, but I watched Liverpool finish fourth with Reece Williams and Nat Phillips playing center back. So
this is what
I don't necessarily have much empathy for what Pep's going through. Also, because they may or may not have cheated for the last 10 years. So, but that's
your team's getting broken down in 2 passes, 2 to 3 passes. Your team is cooked. This can't be. You keep seeing it every single weekend. This can't be like a repeated offense. Change something, please. Or nah.
That's just like,
nah. Actually, don't, because now here's the thing. I need City to keep losing. I need them. I need them
to win. I need them
to
win. Yes.
No chance.
Someone said Pep's losing on purpose, so the Prem feels bad and they'll relegate him.
They felt so bad they gave him an extra 15 charges. The Prem is ready for this. I am ready for this. I need to either see them in the Conference League with that badge playing in Azerbaijan at like 3 p.m. or I need them to be mid-table. These new City fans, they haven't seen pain. You as a Liverpool fan, you saw a Liverpool team clapping for the fans for a late draw against West Brom. As an AC Milan fan, I've gone through 15 years of just absolute meme shenanigans. I was waking up to see Jeremy Menez play. Jeremy Menez.
Yeah, but you never had to see Nat Phillips wear those colors, and that alone is a blessing.
I saw an old Fernando Torres. People don't realize the pain that I've gone through. I need City fans to actually go through pain because
they're not going through pain.
But they're not top 4.
Yeah, but they're not going through pain because you got to realize they've already traded in their kits. They've already gone back to Chelsea and Arsenal. They're no longer City fans.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What I will say, shout out Richarlison. That Richarlison curse is doing numbers, historic numbers. Will I ever see him play again? Probably not. But shout out Richarlison for doing the Lord's work. Absolute clinic.
Speaking of Richarlison, I think a team that Richarlison should go to is Bournemouth. And Bournemouth went to Old Trafford today in the leaky roofs, and they won 3-0. When a manager has to stop his press conference in the middle of it because there's water dripping on the table in front of him, that's probably a sign that the stadium needs to be rebuilt. And that's just the issues happening off the field. Now, the issues happening on the field.
There's another off the field.
Oh, well, that's your guy.
Hey, man. Marcus Rashford, I'm sorry, man, but I don't want to say it.
It's time
I don't want
to go. We need the video. We need the video of the Arsenal fans. It's time to go. He's got to go, blood. He's got to go.
Maybe he gets like a mural like the Arsenal assistant coach, but it's sad because I don't know if why didn't he learn from Ronaldo? Once you do the interview, once you do your statement,
Done.
it's time to pack it up. Time to pack it up. And the thing is, I feel like he's suffering from what you're going to see with like Saka, which I'm scared about, which is a lot of minutes under those legs at 26, 27. So
Saka's really bad.
It's
way too many.
It's really unfortunate because he should never have left, or he should never leave Man United. I think as an academy guy, like, he should just see it through, and I think he's like 10 goals away from cracking top 10, which is even more sad for Man U goals. But it's tough.
But it's similar to like Trent. Like Trent should never leave Liverpool.
Yeah.
Like it's like they're in the same spot. Obviously, Rashford's is a little more extreme because he basically said, "I want to leave."
Mm-hmm. Ready for a new challenge, which is those are fighting words.
But it's like for him that
there's a challenge in front of your face.
Well, yeah, dude, you got
challenges.
But like, part of me understands it. Like, it's been a gong show. But dude, you're on $400,000 a week. Like,
options
nobody's
are limited.
Paying that.
Saudi,
PSG. Yeah, dude, you can't go to Saudi. He's 26.
Can't. Yeah.
You go to Saudi, your career is done. You go to PSG, your career is also done. You'll win league titles, but no one will care.
Yeah, PSG, he'll have fun, I think.
Maybe that's his challenge.
Yeah.
Make PSG relevant in Champions League.
Yeah. Who knows?
Many have tried, many have failed. The best players in the world have failed.
Yeah. But
can Rashford do it?
Man U fans let us know.
Hey, dude, Rashford living in Paris, that'd be a problem.
Oh, you're telling me, but I saw the news today. Grace dumped him, allegedly. Going back to Love Island All-Stars. Maybe that's where you should go for holiday, since he's not playing anymore. Find some love, just back off from playing.
You just can't have that situation happen. You just can't.
Yeah. But
there's no reason of doing it in the media. Like, just do it behind closed doors and get it figured out.
I agree. But let's move on to on the pitch, because there's a bigger task at hand. Bigger fish to fry here. I
didn't see much of it. But
yeah, this was at the same time as the Chelsea game. So I watched like the first half of both, and then I turned my attention to the Man U game. Now, Bournemouth, set piece, United, 9th conceded set piece goal of the season, I think, most in the Prem. See, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Is Amarim just trying to tell them all about the system that they said, screw corner kicks, screw free kicks, we're just going to focus on our system? Why do they keep conceding set pieces?
But it's not, like, I don't even think it's a system. Like,
I don't think so either.
Go head the ball. Like, defensive set pieces,
Xerxes.
like, is literally just pull your pants up and go head the ball. Now, it doesn't help that they have a goalkeeper that on set pieces is relatively useless. Let's be honest. Like, what is Onana doing on set pieces? Nothing.
He just acts like he gets arrested. There's no hands. There's no hands involved in these saves.
No,
he just looks. He looks like us. No, literally, when the headers go in, me and Onana are looking at the ball in the save. We're looking at it go in the goal. It's like, who's getting that?
Is that the ball? Is that the ball? That was the ball. That's what he does.
That's what he does. So
no, like, defending set pieces, you just got to man up and go head the ball. I mean, who was in their lineup today? Maguire. Now, an issue that structurally they have defending set pieces is that Harry Maguire is the only guy on their team that's taller than 6'2" in the starting lineup today. Like him and Xerxes. You have Mazraoui playing center back. You have
Xerxes was the. I know you didn't see it, but Xerxes was the one who who didn't
Well,
win the
he
header.
had a stinker. Yeah.
It's just
Well,
crazy. But let's see.
Dowlow's not winning headers. Mainu's not winning headers. Malassia's not winning headers. Bruno's shouldn't be anywhere near the box defensively. Ahmad's not winning headers.
Yeah,
So, I mean, like, you don't have anybody in that team that's going to win a header other than Slabhead. And you
I
can't cover the
understand.
whole 6-yard box.
And
But
yeah, before
you can't concede 3.
before we continue diving into this game, I do want to give a nice little call to Malassia. I get it. It's been a year and a half since he's probably played footy. He's doing a couple games here and there, and I'm just going to say right now his name isn't Malassia. It's just Molass. He needs to earn the Sia back. He really does. The performance that he put on, I felt bad for Amarim because that's not his fault. You can't control that. And I know it's still a long way to recovery, but that first 45 was some of the worst footy I've ever seen in my life. From a wing back. Like, that's why Dallow's over there, because Molass is just stinking it up over there. But another one that you kind of talked about already, Maguire. Now, I let you and Jacob get your points off last week for the derby, but we saw the true Maguire today. Anything that requires Maguire to actually pass the ball, to actually do something forward-facing.
Well, you got 2 center backs right next to him.
This is where we see the true slabhead that everyone sees. No entry balls are connecting. He's getting turned left and right by Evan Nielsen. Yellow cards, just late challenges. This was the Harry Maguire that I remember. And it's just sad to see, because Bournemouth really looked at that lineup. They probably laughed at each other in the locker room, and they're like, we're going to beat them 3-0 again. We're going to beat them 3-0 again. And the fact I'm saying again is scary. They literally walked in there. And just, they chose violence. They literally made Old Trafford their own. They're out here pressing, like, from full stop. Like, they're controlling everything. Did United have some good chances? Like, Bruno probably should have had one in the first half and a couple others. But Bournemouth just walked in there and said, this is our Old Trafford. You can't earn this right now. You need to work harder.
All right. So my questions about United and my concerns with United, is this going to be a structural issue based on the style of play and the formation, or is this just an issue of they don't have the players? Because both of them are a massive, massive problem.
Yeah. So with me, I feel like this system isn't really too much of an issue. I think if you can do it correctly, like, we've seen it already that it can work during some games. But I would say the quality of the players, or the type of players, like Kobe Mainoo is not athletic enough to be in a two-way midfield. You see it with Liverpool. Gravenberch has support next to him. He's got Szoboszlai, who's going to run over everywhere. McAllister's next to him. This is where you see the best of Kobe Mainoo. During the Euros, during 2 seasons or last season for United, this is when you see the best. But right now,
better as a box-to-box 8 than he is a holding, breaking it up 6.
Yeah. So it's like, right now there's an issue in the midfield there,
but
and then it's like,
Ugarte is supposed to fix that, though. Like, that's the thing that doesn't make sense.
To be
it's
fair,
like they've bought players, and I understand. I don't know why they just let Ten Hag go free in the summer and buy whoever he wanted to buy. But, like, he was supposed to be the Casemiro replacement. Like, that is who they handpicked to play in the middle of the park, presumably next to Mainoo.
Yeah.
And Ugarte can't pass the ball.
So,
like, he can't pass the ball.
I won't even blame, like, Ugarte or anything for this, because, to be fair,
he was good today.
I was one of his biggest haters coming in, but he actually is starting to settle in, and I think he's going to be a good piece for United. It's just they're expecting him to do the work of two midfielders, because if Kobe can't run, then you have to cover Kobe Mainu, and then you have to do your own work, and then there's that extra midfielder that isn't getting picked up, and you have to cover that too. There's far too much for that one position to do. And it's like Bruno, like we know about Bruno, you want to keep him up the field as much as possible.
I don't know if Bruno can play in either of those positions. I don't know if he can play the deeper one, and I don't know if he can play the more attacking one either.
Yeah.
I actually think it's just such a weird system, and I know it worked in Portugal, but it's like I just can't get over the fact that none of the teams that needed a manager got him. Like, there's a reason why. And I don't want to say he's going to fail, because I actually think he's a really good manager. And I think if you put the right players in the system, it will work. The problem is he probably had better players at Sporting than he does at United.
Ooh, nah.
He has a better striker.
I won't go that far. I don't even know Sporting's team like that, because I don't even know the team like that.
It was really ambitious, but
yeah, no, shoot. I appreciate that.
Okay, how about this? He had better players to fit the system than he does now.
Yeah, but I think that's what you were saying earlier. It took some time to get those players in. For me, during the game today as well, the quality just in the attacking third was shocking. Like, if the NBC highlights didn't do like United justice, there was probably like 6 or 7 attempts where people had shots from outside the box and they were hitting Rosie. They were hitting the pipes that were leaking. Like,
that's a United staple to just shoot from anywhere.
I promise you, like, they were getting in good spots. Like, Diallo has been so good for them this season, but some of the attempts he had today, it was looking reckless. It was looking reckless. The Mazraoui pen, I mean, clear as day pen. I don't know what he was thinking there. And then the third one, it's just when it rains, it pours. And Semenyo at the finish, just quick team goal. Bournemouth really they were just having fun. Shout out Tyler Adams too. Shout out Tyler Adams. He was putting in a shift. He was doing what Man U wants Ugarte to do, if that makes sense. He was doing the work of like 3 midfielders today. And
That's the American tendency. Just go out there and run. That's
blue collar, man. We get it done. We get it done.
Shout out to Liverpool sporting director that hired both Areola and Slot.
Wow. Okay.
What a shout that is, huh?
Okay, I didn't expect that one. That's a shout.
I saw that tweet. I saw that tweet today. Two really good managers. But like, if I just look at United's team, like Mazraoui, I think he should be playing wing back instead of center back. I'll just say it. Okay, we agree there. Mainu and Ugarte, that pairing's not going to work. So you need a player there, because Casemiro is also not going to work. So you need to buy a player there. Wing back.
They need like a Leon Goretzka in there, just runners. Just someone who's just going to run.
That's true. Wing back, Dalot is probably going to work. You're going to have to make it work. Mazraoui is probably going to work. Other than that,
Malas.
Yeah, Malas. That's not going to work. Who else do they have that can play there? I don't think... Or Anthony, that's probably not going to work.
We're not going to say Luke Shaw.
No, Luke Shaw is... If he plays, I think he should play center back where he doesn't have to move as much.
Fair.
The 2 10s, Ahmad's going to work. Bruno's yet to be seen. Garnacho, who knows? And then striker again. It's like, who knows? But
yeah, but like Xerxes, again, I want to give grace because it's his first season. Like, I feel like with the United badge, people seem to forget. But it's his first season. I'm not giving
Højlund grace.
This isn't his first season. So, yeah, I'm fine with that. But
Højlund really should be getting the Darwin Núñez treatment right now. I don't know how he's figured out how not to.
There's a
Maybe
lot
it's
of
because
other.
the rest of the team's so bad.
I was gonna say there's a lot of other problems going on. I guess to wrap up United, we can talk about Garnacho real quick. Um, so he came on as a sub today, and I'm not gonna lie, there is beef in that dressing room. Now, I'm just speaking as a conspiracy theorist, but there's moments during that game where like Garnacho easily could have played Højlund, vice versa, like Højlund easily could have played Garnacho, and you're starting to see some of the old habits that are dying slow. Just a team that doesn't really want to play together. A team like when things go wrong, they get all discombobulated, and you're seeing a bunch of individuals and not a team. As simple as that is. And I think when you're trying to play for yourself and not playing for that badge, you're gonna get results like 3-0 at home to Bournemouth. I don't know what they got to do to figure that out, but Amarim has a big task on at hand.
Graveyard. It's a
It is a
graveyard for
graveyard.
coaches and maybe players.
Very, very
Players
few
not
make
yet,
it out.
but
Yeah.
it's becoming a place where you just go get a massive wage and your career just goes to shit.
So, United fans, tough weekend. I feel like there's a couple more ahead, but 13th is not 14th, right?
Not in their relegation battle, I guess.
Yeah.
Pretty close
So,
to a couple. Gabriel Jesus, huh?
wow.
Is he back?
Nah, this guy just hates Palace.
Unfortunately, I will say, unfortunately for Arsenal, as soon as they look to be playing really good football, their best player's out. And I'm not a genius, I'm not a doctor, but anytime somebody does their hamstring and they have to leave on crutches, that is not a 1 to 2 week issue. That is a 2 to 3 month issue, I would imagine. I don't think that's a quick recovery.
The tweet I saw from Eurosport was, it's several weeks. Take that as you will, but they're saying several weeks. Let's see. I guess about the game, it actually was a fascinating game. You saw it, right?
Yeah, I thought that Arsenal kind of reverted back to how they played in previous years where they actually played football.
Arteta might have listened to you. Did you see who was playing in midfield?
I saw he was playing in the midfield.
Yeah. Hey, we might know a thing or two.
You know what? When I said that, I never said to put Gabriel Jesus playing a striker, but more power to you, and it worked. I mean, this is what he does, though. He goes on like these runs where he has like 4 unbelievable games, then he just stinks it up for another 3 months.
The thing is, though, for someone to score 5 goals against your team in 3 days, like that's a personal vendetta. Like he was something happened at Palace where he didn't like it. Maybe it was the gay captain's armband with the I love Jesus. I don't know if he took that as disrespect. I don't know, but what he did was absolutely brilliant. I guess a lot of open play goals as well today. That was new. That was refreshing.
No, but like I think I'd love more teams to do this. Is when you're playing a team like Palace that you're going to beat, you can tinker some things. And like I don't think he's going to play Havertz in the midfield against Chelsea or Liverpool. But when you play a team that you know you're going to have the ball and you're not so concerned about them scoring on the counterattack, you might as well just drop another creative player in there. Plus, I don't know if they had any other options because Mikel Mourinho cannot get away with what he has done. This guy.
Fraud.
Real Sociedad.
Fraudulent.
I'm not ready to say fraud yet, but Arsenal might have been robbed by that side.
Arteta signed himself. Like we're not gonna Arteta is a good midfielder, we understand. Like it's the same way Mikel Mourinho was. Like when he was at Newcastle, like the same way actually Arteta Everton was class. But when he went to Arsenal, like it was okay. And that's probably what you're gonna get from Mikel Mourinho. Like you're not getting anything special. Like he signed himself.
Yeah, I still don't understand the signing. It's not the type of player that they needed. Partey, though, like when
Good.
Partey plays, they look a lot better. Now, is your midfield three going forward got to be Partey, Rice, and Odegaard? I mean, that's probably what it should be.
That's what it was last season.
But then
Right?
again, it's like I believe they've played with that midfield a ton this year, probably, and they haven't created that much. So it's like, I mean, it's crazy to
No.
say one of them has to be missing out for Havertz to play as the 10, but Odegaard played as an 8. And I remember saying that a couple weeks ago. Odegaard playing as
No,
an 8.
get your shit off, man.
Odegaard playing as an 8. I just think if he plays as an 8 and he plays more that side of the pitch rather than holding Saka's hand, I think they'll be a little more balanced. But now, if Saka's out, I don't know. Now their attack, dude, scoring goals for them is going to be hell.
Yeah, that relying on Martinelli to beat your guy 1v1, even though he did this game, so fair enough. It's going to be a long season if that's what you got to do.
Even set pieces, like you're losing the guy that takes half your set pieces.
Yeah, back to that actually makes sense. But your center mid shout though. Your center mid shout though. I think it's just Declan Rice and Marino can't play together. Like there's something off, but I guess throughout the other parts of the game or the other parts of the team, Saliba and Gabriel, I know they won 5-1 or it was 5-1, but I have some thoughts. Saliba this season, I don't want to hear any Arsenal fan chat to me about best CB in the Prem. What we saw today, that's a lucky man. That's a lucky man. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's having any more like French national team leaks with the videos or something scary that he's got to handle behind the scenes. But Saliba has been putting in a stinker this season. And I don't know if people want to have the convo, but
they don't.
He needs some time to develop because what is he, 22? But right now, I'm not seeing the Saliba that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, dude. Arsenal just has to stop acting like they have the best players in the league in positions, because I don't think they have one. Like, and that's the thing. That's the thing that's annoying is like, no, they don't. They don't. Like, we can go through it. We can go through it.
Interesting.
We can go through it.
Quickly go through it.
Who would you consider? Who would even be their candidates? Saliba as a center back.
Odegaard
as a 10. That's not happening. Cole Palmer exists. Saka as a winger. That's not happening. Mo Salah's not dead yet. That's it. Like they've
Raya.
Behave.
Cooking with Raya.
Behave. If you got to win a football game, you're not picking David Raya in your goal if you can pick anyone in the world.
Cooking with Raya.
But like,
yeah,
we'll see. If they perform like this, they're right back in the title race. Like, if they perform like this, there's a chance that they could make up some ground. But like I said, it's kind of irrelevant because if Saka doesn't play, who knows what they're going to look like.
It looked fun out there. I know the Saka injury's tough, but they did look like they were playing with a bit more freedom, it was good to see.
They were playing actual football.
Yeah, that Saka injury is going to hurt. So Arsenal fans praying for you there, but I think good performance. Just Palace was unlucky. Raya made some good saves. And yeah, they march on, hopefully back in a title race, but we'll see.
Goodison Park, woo! Everton and Chelsea, kind of a surprise, kind of not a surprise. Look, I know Sean Dyche gets a lot of shit for being like this. I mean, he's just a clown, let's be honest. Like, he's a clown, but he's a funny clown. And he's a clown that understands football. Because I can hate on Everton for a lot of things. What I can't hate on Everton is their ability to just say, we're not a good football team, but we don't care. We're going to find the way to get a result. Like, you don't see Everton, like, some of these managers, like I said, they're on, like, the Vincent Company track where they're like, well, I'm going to get relegated, but if I play good football, I'll get a good job. Sean Deitch, nah. We're just not going to get relegated. We're
I
just
love
going to
it.
make sure we don't get relegated. We're not going to play out from the back. We're going to pump it long. We're going to defend our ass off. And we're going to play for set pieces and counterattacks. And that's it. And
I
if you
thought,
don't get any set pieces or counterattacks, guess what? They're never going to look like scoring. But in this game, they looked like scoring a couple times, which is partially what I think everyone's concern is with Chelsea regarding their ability to actually win the league right now is the center backs and the goalkeeper. I know Robert Sanchez played well, but with those center backs, I don't know if you can ever be comfortable in a game unless you're winning by 2 goals because you just don't know what you're going to get.
yeah, I watched the first half and then some highlights of the second half. But yeah, center backs, goalies, we know like those were Chelsea's weak points. But to be fair, 0-0, so they didn't concede. Even though it was a little risky, they were able to not concede, which is good. First half, my quick analysis there is Chelsea kind of got into like the pattern of things. Like we saw the pattern of the game really, really just easily just flow into it. It was more of Chelsea's going to possess, Chelsea's going to try to break you down, and then Everton was just, like you said, playing for the counter. Besides all the footy talk first, did you see the weather?
Yeah, it was bad.
How
They
how
said it
on
was windy
earth?
as shit.
How I feel like it had to be worse than when the Liverpool Everton game got canceled. Like it looked
Allegedly.
crazy. It looked crazy over there.
I don't think so. I think the weather was fine. They definitely should have played the game at Goodison Park today. There's no reason why they shouldn't have played the game. We can't be having
There.
games getting called off because of weather. What are we
Yeah.
doing?
No, I
It's the
hear it.
holiday season, dude. Don't you want to go to Goodison Park and try to get 3 points?
Oh,
Now is the
they
time to do it.
just got to fix up Liverpool's weather. I feel like nowhere else is really that bad. What the heck
All
is
they had to
going
do is
on?
just play the game at Anfield, and they wouldn't have had an issue.
I get why Zubimendi chose the paella in the
Nah,
sunlight.
don't even
Good
talk about that
Lord.
bum. Guy's a clown.
You might see him in January.
That guy sucks. I hope
Well,
I do see him in January.
I would be so tuned in for that.
You know what he'll
But
see in January? He'll see number 38 running around the pitch in his position. That's what he'll see in January if he comes.
that's funny. I'll go back to Chelsea real quick though. As much as I celebrate the wins, I do got to call out my guy Nicholas Jackson, man.
Funny performance though.
Yeah,
Funny,
yeah. There
entertaining.
was like a lot of these teams that we saw this weekend. Old habits die slow, and we saw Jackson probably should have had a goal or two. The header that hit the post. Why was he so nonchalant? You can't be that nonchalant as a striker. You just get it in the net and start celebrating, because these are chances, like if you don't take them, like that's the difference between the 0-0s and the 1-0s or the 2-0s. And these are why I guess Chelsea's saying we're not in a title race right now. But I think he was still like good with like the hold up play and stuff, but these are the chances where you got to be clinical. You got to have that killer instinct. I don't know if there was anything else you saw from the game, but
Chelsea still look good. Like, this is what you're going to get with Chelsea now. They're going to dominate possession, and they're always going to look like they're threatening the score. It's just a matter if they actually do it or not.
But Chelsea, is it 2 points dropped or is it 1 point game?
No, it's 2 points dropped. Everton's 2 points.
Fair enough, but I think that's enough Chelsea talk.
They're gonna drop points, dude. Like,
Yeah.
they're not.
No one's worried.
Yet. Yeah, they're not ready yet.
No one's worried. We know exactly.
It was always top 4.
Yeah. So let's. Is this the final one coming up?
Yeah. I told you it was going to be the most exciting game of the weekend.
I had to
Goals
rewatch
galore.
the highlights because I forgot which goal was which.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you exactly who scored and how many goals they scored. I just know the goals were scored.
How do you?
Let's talk about Spurs first.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go crazy this time.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm just gonna speak facts. I'm not gonna look for clickbait. I'm just gonna speak facts.
Uh-huh.
If you're Ange, I understand you want to play a certain style of football. You want to press high, you want to play a high line, you want to play out from the back. I get that. Right now, I think they said they have 10 guys injured. If you have 10 guys injured, it is just pure stupidity to think that you are going to play the same way that you are playing. You have Fraser Foster in goal. You have Archie Gray, who is 20, playing center back. He's a midfielder.
I think he's 18.
Draguson, I don't know. Yeah, whatever his name is, he's playing center back. You don't have Romero and Van de Ven playing center back right now. You do not have Vicario in goal. Hence, you can't send all 6 of your midfielders and forwards the press. Plus, you're not playing Wolves. You're playing Liverpool. Like, you gotta adapt. You have to adapt. And I will say, I liked that he played Kulusevski and Madison together. We know how I feel about that.
Uh-huh.
Solanke and Son. I'll be honest, until Solanke assisted, I didn't even know he was playing today. Like, I did not notice he was
a
playing
long day. It was a long day. Him and Son were struggling.
Him and Son were struggling. But it's Spurs, it's this mixture of the not having any flexibility in the way we play. And if your principle is to press high, press high. But it's just not going to work. Just be smart about it. And the problem is when they press high, they just get played through. Like, when they press high, like there was a time where Son was chasing Joe Gomez into by the corner flag. And Joe Gomez literally just turned around and poked the ball to Trent. And Trent had 20 yards of space. And it's like, if you're not on the same page, you can't press anyway. So I don't know, like Spurs and
so yeah, I think with me, I was listening a tiny bit to what Tim Howard was saying, and it's like he said it quite well in this first sentence. Everyone should have the right to adapt. What you want to do is bring the best out of your players. So when you do have a back line of what you just read, what on earth makes you think that having a high line and pressing is going to bring the best out of your players? Archie Gray isn't even like a proper center back. He usually plays the 6. They thought Jed Spence was playing in the Beta Squad charity game. Granted, he played okay. I thought against Salah, it's going to be tough, but it wasn't terrible.
He was better than Pedro Porro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have a back line that hasn't even played together, so how do you expect them to connect on a high line press? It's just not going to work. And then, when you have Fraser Foster in goal, what are we doing? Why do you want it?
Long, every time, please.
This is what I'm saying. You want to bring the best out of your players just because you want to stick to your principles. This is the results. He's
hurting himself.
This is what I'm saying. Like, this is managerial suicide. You have to bring the best out of your players and deal with the squad that you have. A lot of it, you could tell from the beginning of the game, it was a bit like timid. Like, they were kind of scared. I think like they knew they had to press, but it's like once they did press, you kind of saw what happened. Things didn't really liven up until James Maddison had a quality finish. Like, that was probably their second best goal on the day, but I think to actually win the ball off McAllister, like it was a good goal, valid press work there. Well, only problem is
like
you see it says,
yeah, it's like you just if you want to press, that's fine, but I don't even know if they have the runners to press.
Here's the thing.
Midfield, they don't have the physicality to go press and win the ball in there.
Here's the thing. Basuma just looked like he was having a rough day. But it's also like when you send everyone like the front, the front 6 higher, this is when Trent is able to just play those little dink balls, and Szoboszlai is able to win the knockdown, and this is how the counters happen. And when you don't win the second ball, when you don't win the knockdown, that's why Salah probably should have had 5 assists today if Diaz didn't mess up 3 of them. And that's when you just saw Tottenham on the back foot conceding 6. It's just so naive. There needs to be conversations from upper management. There needs to be conversations because 6
suicide. It's managerial suicide. You
6
said it right.
is, yeah, 6 is outrageous. I guess out of
the fact that I see a video 2 days ago of Slot doing a press conference going, I don't know what all the fuss is about. You can never play too much attacking football. I love the way the Spurs play. He did damn well what he was doing.
1,000%. 1,000%. Yeah.
But that's the thing, Liverpool didn't even care that they were pressing them. They were just like, Salah, stay high.
Mm-hmm.
Szoboszlai, stay high. Diaz, stay high. Gakpo, stay high. McAllister, you split the difference. Gravenberch, you come short. And there's just space everywhere.
Yeah, I think to wrap it up on Spurs, they have the most goals in the Prem, and they're in 11th place. I feel like that's what sums up their season. And clearly the attacking side isn't the issue. It's when you have a style of play that doesn't work for a back line that hasn't played more than 3 games together. That's probably what's going to bring you down.
Dude,
but
how do you have a plus 14 goal differential, though, and being 11th?
That's what I'm saying.
You know how? It's because when they win 5-0. That's why.
Yeah, but again, 3 against Liverpool is an impressive feat, especially this Liverpool side who's been defending very well. Goals aren't the issue.
Speaking of Liverpool, though, I don't think once the game was 2-0, I think they were just yeah, whatever. We're in cruise control.
You weren't scared after the third, after Tottenham's third,
after the when it was 5-3.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't.
You didn't see Timo running down the line?
No. Once it was 2-0, I knew the game was dead.
Yeah.
Because I just knew I was like the commentator said. They're like, oh, Spurs, they could score 6 in this one, but they'll probably concede 9.
Yeah.
And that's just how I felt. I was like, Spurs might score, but they're also just going to keep conceding.
Yeah. I feel like there's a couple player call-outs that we can probably have, but I guess the first question I have for you is, saying who played well would be tough for a Liverpool question. Is there anyone who you thought didn't play well? Because if the answer is no, I'm here for you, but did anyone not play well?
Gakpo didn't play well. Gakpo's really bad. By his standards, he was really bad.
What about
they conceded 3 goals.
What about the person behind him?
Szoboszlai?
Robertson.
McAllister. See that your definition with Robertson is different than mine because I just expect him to be asked every week now. I have such low expectations for him.
Fair.
I don't think he was as bad as he's been, which is saying a lot, because if you thought he was bad, then you should see him every single game he plays.
Honestly, I think it was kind of crazy that Tottenham's game plan was just attacking Robertson. That kind of lets me know how Ange was viewing Robertson's recent performances.
If at any point in your career you're the opposite side fullback of Trent Alexander-Arnold and they're targeting you, it's time. It's time to go.
Is there?
Diaz played the 9 again. I think this is a. Was
that the first time he scored since how long? September, was it?
He hasn't scored in a while.
Yeah,
but he's a weird player, dude. Because it's weird for a winger to not score or assist but impact games. He doesn't get goal involvements that a lot. And I don't know why. Because he gets himself in really good positions, but his finishing is usually he misfires a lot.
Yeah, he probably should have had 4 today. But I will say it's a lot of what
he just loves the dribble. That's the thing. Like, I don't think he
Bro,
thinks of
the
shooting. He'd
Rabona flick,
rather dribble.
the Rabona flick, and then if he pulled that off, I was about to lose my mind. But like we said, a lot of it is the talent and versatility of these players now. It's class because it's like he's still impacting the game without GA, even though he had his GA today or whatever. But when you have someone who can play left wing, when you have someone who can play the 9, and there's just so much interchangeability, like I think it was the last goal, when Diaz is able to be on that left side, but still make the full run across the field, Salah with the through ball in behind, Gakpo playing Salah before that. It's beautiful to see. It's the attacking and free footy that you as a fan want to see. So with so much interchangeability, with so much versatility, this Liverpool side is scary. Like, it's scary. Salah should have had at least 7 assists today. I'm not even, like, is that an understatement?
No, he could add probably realistically 5.
Yeah.
Which is,
Like,
yeah, but that's like just the
Trent
way
probably got
Spurs
2 or
play.
3.
They're just so open. And
Yeah.
you can't play open against Liverpool. Like, Leverkusen did it a month ago.
So what happened?
And what was it, 5-0, 4-0? Like
4-0.
You just can't do it. It's just suicide. And I think the concerning part of it, and the part that I'm sure Slot's going to be losing his mind, is that they conceded 3 goals. But it's like, was it we conceded 3 goals, or was it just that we switched off? That's the question that they need to answer. But like, that's my thing with like switching off. Like, Curtis Jones just didn't follow him.
Yeah.
Like, he just got caught ball watching. And next thing you know, the ball's in the goal.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, too, like, there was that goal, but just going through some of the other goals, Liverpool's first, that Trent assist, my gosh. Oh, my God. As soon as he whipped it in, I'm like, this guy is... I would hate to see him go. I'd hate to see him go in mature. I get it.
There's only 2 players in the world that can play that ball.
Oh,
it's him.
Yeah.
And Kevin De Bruyne. And that's it.
Yeah, that was crazy. McAllister able to get a header. Who would have thought? Not me. Shout out the 5'9" King. But yeah, there was just a lot of goals, a lot of fun. As a neutral, I had a blast watching that game. And yeah, any special call outs? I think Szoboszlai deserves one.
He's been really good the past I would say the past couple of weeks. He's been really good. If you can get him playing like that.
I was talking to my boy yesterday, and we literally were just like, Szoboszlai, like, what's going on? Like, we know the quality's there. How are you gonna show it? And I don't know if he was getting the vodka soda next to me or getting the beer next to my boy, but he showed the quality today. So yeah.
Well, with Szoboszlai, it's like last season, Klopp had him playing like Henderson's role, where he was just running.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that Klopp wanted him to do. And now it's like, no, now we want you to be a proper 10. Like,
he's like big. He's big enough to win like the flick-ons like we saw today. His touch, like, with hold up play and link up with either Salah or Gakpo or Diaz's class. And he scored today, but there was a one when he rounded the keeper. Probably should have finished that one too. This is probably the Szoboszlai for like Hungary. That
scary hours.
Yeah, because he was starving a little bit, but now
scary hours. Don't let Slot start cooking.
Sheesh. That Penitentiary is getting full, man.
Nah, dude, they opened up a new wing.
Okay. That's good.
They're going to start letting out the non-violent criminals to make more room.
Xabi Alonso, you can go.
We have a couple that are going to have to be re-entered here in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Still got to get processed.
United's probably going to get their second manager welcome to the Penitentiary this season.
Oh. Yeah.
Good times, eh? Good times, be a Liverpool fans. Good times.
Top of the league. Final question for you. They the best team in the world right now?
You know, someone asked me earlier. It's not that I waited an hour to respond because I just didn't want to respond. I actually thought about it. I think, yeah, they have to be. Like if you look across the other leagues, Madrid not playing that well. Barca kind of on a slide right now. Atletico, I can't consider that type of football to be the best team in the league or the best team in the world. And then that leaves Bayern and Chelsea and Arsenal probably.
Yeah.
And I think Bayern's probably the only one, but we'll see. Maybe we'll see them in the Champions League. I feel like the Champions League this year, we might get some incredible matchups in knockout round.
Hey, I think the good thing is that as we wrap up the first half of the season, I think Liverpool is probably the best in the world right now. But there's so much footy to play. So many things can change, and I think that's what makes it the best league in the world.
Slot ball lives on.
Slot ball is living on, though. And in 2024 and high.
Slot ball where you play 4 different styles within 60 minutes.
Hey, we love the right to adapt, don't we? But I think we can wrap it up there. Liverpool fans, let us know how you're feeling because you must be buzzing. Is Liverpool the best team in the world right now? Let's see. But another episode in the books. We'll probably get one more in before the holidays. And without further ado, we'll catch you next week. Peace.
All right, guys, that's a wrap on this week's episode of Remotely Related. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on Apple and Spotify. Check us out on TikTok and Instagram at Remotely Related _. Also on X and YouTube at Remote Related. We'll make sure to catch you all on next week's episode.